That's the biggest question I ask myself every day is, what does my life look like as a 50-year-old man if America is not the largest superpower? What does my children's college experience look like if the United States is not the #1 superpower in the world? If my children go into military service, what does that look like if we're the second largest military? Those are questions no generation, my parents didn't have to ask themselves that question. It wasn't until I get back to my grandparents. And that was the generation, yours and our grandparents were the ones that actually saw the rise of the United States. You know, there was a whole generation between them and us that never even had doubts, never had to wonder if the US would be the biggest.
Yeah.
Right? And now you and I have to be ready to let our children graduate into a world where potentially they'll be #2.
If China does take over if they become the world superpower by 2033, what you had mentioned, what does your life look like? Are you preparing for that? In your mind, what happens?
So I am preparing for that. If the United States is no longer the world's largest superpower, then 2 things happen almost immediately. First, being an American no longer has an advantage. Everything we talked about having $100 in your pocket as an EDC, or having an international credit card, which is most of the banking institutions are American banking institutions, all of that takes second place. Because now everybody's gonna want an HSBC credit card. Now everybody's gonna wanna have a passport from China, right? If China becomes the world's global superpower, everybody wants to go with China. Their ticket to opportunity, their potential ticket to freedom. If we're no longer the top of the food chain, then we lose that appeal. Because now all of a sudden, you need to have a Chinese passport to have the ticket. You need to have a Chinese identity or a Chinese genetic background for people to take and pay attention to you.